Good afternoon. Welcome to December webinar of Value Proof. My name is Tim Pellens, and today we have Eric Bruckner with us, who will take us through the use of tablets in daily life of salespeople in the next 30 minutes. Eric, welcome to the call today. Just a short introduction. Eric is in the business since 2008 and very experienced in implementing tablet usage in sales forces throughout the globe. Eric, can you take us through your tour this afternoon?
Sure. Thanks a lot, Tim, for this introduction. I hope everyone can hear me. So first of all, I would just like to outline something. If anyone has questions during the webinar, just feel free to type the questions in the chat window, and I'll be able to just answer them during the presentations or afterwards anonymously. So what I'm going to do here in the next 30 minutes is I'm just going to give you a little wrap up on what's going on in the market in the different verticals, how tablets are being used in different industries, and what the results were so far for them. Before I do that, I would like to just give you a little, I don't know, some funny numbers in regards to how important mobile is today and what kind of impact it has on the business. So Gartner reported that back in 2012, and that's a double-figure growth market, over 4.7 billion was invested in sales applications, and that's really just applications for salespeople, Salesforce members. And then basically, I'm sure all of you have experienced that as well when you have your phone with you, and then you feel it is vibrating, and then you take it out and it's actually not. So just because the phone, or in general mobile devices, the first thing you do when you get up in the morning is you look at your phone or your iPad or your Android tablet, and the last thing you do before you go to bed is exactly that as well. So it's just reminding of how you don't look at your laptop or your desktop computer before you go to bed or the first thing in the morning. It's your mobile device, whatever mobile device it is, but it's your mobile device. And then last but not least, I would like to point out that in the world, like globally, there are 5.1 billion mobile phones, but only 4.2 billion toothbrushes. So that literally means, or that tells us that that the mobile technology is so far advanced that it even dominates the message of not getting mouth hygiene. So that's really just to sort of underline the importance of mobile in today's markets. If we have a look at a little bit more specified area of mobile, which would be then tablets in the enterprise environment, there is a term that was given to the market by the life science industry, which is called closed-loop marketing. And closed-loop marketing, of course, the term has existed before, but closed-loop marketing becomes a really new meaning when you apply the whole multi-channel topic to it. Because once you use smart devices, smartphones, smart tablets, Android tablets, iPads, whatever, Windows tablets, once you use that technology for your field force, closed-loop marketing becomes real-time reality. So there is real-time information collected on how your salespeople show the marketing content, and again, that real-time insight can then be used and implemented in revamping the whole marketing material. So let's have a quick look at the beginning or just the development so far of closed loop marketing. So back in, just to bring this up, back in beginning of 2010, the iPad was released by Apple, bringing or creating this whole new market. And then soon afterwards, there was a term in life science, because just I'm gonna get to other verticals as well. I'm just gonna outline this example here on the life science industry, because the life science industry was the very first one to move in a very broad scale towards tablets. So that was basically when, a couple of months after the iPad was released, the CEO of a multinational pharma company said they would equip all their sales reps with iPads under the premise that they would save around 25% of their daily work time. Well, I mean, afterwards we're also going to look a little bit at the results so far, and what is really important when implementing these new technologies in a very conservative structure or field. So first thing was definitely e-detailing, which was just like getting interactive presentations on the tablets. So first step was purchasing the tablets, and then afterwards, okay, what are we going to do with these tablets? So afterwards there was e-detailing, which is basically an HTML5 developed presentation on a tablet to use its capabilities that we all know from the mobile devices like swipe, touch, pinch, etc., to make more interactive presentations. Then the second step is, or the first realization that came after that, was when changing content, it got extremely expensive and inefficient as well, because everything was developed in HTML5. So making a change to that content required someone to develop in HTML5, which was again almost as inefficient as beforehand on paper. So a lot of the demand has gone in the direction of content, like automatic content conversions, where you could imagine sort of a hybrid content, layer. So just think of this really easy. You have, for example, 5 static slides in a presentation, static or with like small animations, and then you have maybe 5 highly interactive HTML5 slides with interactive surveys, or a 3D carousel, or even a 3D model of a product or building or whatever. And you would like to make changes on those first 5 pages. So that's where the hybrid content concept comes in, because you can make these changes without having to develop an HTML5. And exactly this content conversion engine concept brought us back to being efficient in the market, and to being able to still have the interactive content, but on the other hand also be able to have it in a flexible way. And then of course there were first statistics. First statistics were basically just based on usage numbers, so how often is a content piece used, and how much time do I spend on a specific slide. So this was in the beginning. I'm still talking beginning maybe end 2010, beginning 11. That was really all about data collection, less what can we really do with that data, and how fast do we need to analyze it in order to for it to really have an influence on our next marketing campaign or marketing material creation cycle. So that's that lack or that issue we saw here with the statistics in the market, that automatically led to the conclusion, or to the necessity, that it has to be a more integrated experience. It's not enough to just have distribute tablets to your field force and then tell them, all right, now you can write your emails on a tablet, you can manage your calendar or your schedule on a tablet, and you can present interactive details. That's not enough for leveraging the full potential of these this new technology. So the first step was obviously to make a connection between the internal CRM system in the enterprise, the internal CRM system, and the software that is being used to actually display the closed-loop marketing platform. The software is actually used to display the presentations and to collect the information. So this is already this was already a huge step forward, because now you had the information the information on how content was used, by whom it was shown, and the connection to the CRM now enabled you to analyze on also to whom it was shown. So you could really drill down to a level where it said, well, sales rep A showed content B and spent X minutes on slide 5 showing it to customer C. So that's really a huge step forward, because that brings you closer, or that brought us closer to the level where we could say, well, this data really enables us to make use of it for the next marketing campaign or even next visit. And that's where we're just gonna come at or talk about right afterwards. Then the next step was like remote controlling, because that's just a natural issue that evolved. Like when you present with tablets, depending on whether you've done it or not, there's always the question, like, how do you hold the tablet? How do you present? Is it on the table? Is it not? If you want to like make the gestures from the other side of the table, that's usually not working quite well. So just having a remote control, and which provides you also with additional features like speaker notes, hidden notes, so you could know more than that was displayed on the actual tablet screen. That was just a natural demand from the market, I guess. And then next step, of course, just talking about this integrated experience for the sales rep as well, because keep in mind we're always talking about this 20% time saving of a sales rep in the field. So in order for him to actually save that time, it's not enough that he can just schedule his calls and report them back. He needs to be able to do 80% of his job on one app on the tablets, and that includes also the e-learning experience, because if you have to create a training for each new presentation that you're rolling out, again, you're not leveraging the technology to the full potential. So e-learning integration was a natural next step as well, with basically making the content dependent on the fulfillment of certain courses. So a sales rep would not get a brochure for a new product unless he has actually fulfilled and passed the e-learning part for that new product. So it's also about quality control in this case, and compliance as well. So this is also an important part of it, because this enables you to make sure that sales reps have actually looked at material before they go out and present it. And with paper, that was always a bit difficult to sort of verify. And here you have that with this new technology, you have the means to actually verify this. Second thing is also, like, talking more a bit about the compliance part, is also now you can really force compliance rules on the devices. So think of this. I don't know if you notice. I mean, at least in Switzerland, that's the case. For an insurance company, for an average insurance company, when they decide from a management perspective to stop selling a product, it takes the whole organization around half a year until they actually stopped selling the product. So this means you have a delay of 6 months stopping the sale of a certain insurance product, which is basically, and then you can ask yourself why. Well, of course, there's like a decision cycle inside the organization. But then another reason is also because you have a lot of printed brochures out there, and you need to update the system until the product is not available anymore. Well, on tablets, what you can do now very easily is set expiration dates for content. So you can literally say, I don't care whether my sales reps are online or offline. On the end of the first quarter, on 31st of March, I want all the price lists to be gone, and all the documentation on a certain product, I want them to be gone, and it's going to be forced, even though they might be offline. Also, another important topic, more talking about the financial services side, is also like the whole geolocation settings, so that certain compliance pages only become available when you're in a certain region, or they disappear. Again, this is tied to when is the sales rep allowed, or where is the sales rep allowed to actually sell a product, or where is he not allowed to sell a product. This also, I mean, going away a little bit from financial services maybe to a less regulated market, this could also, of course, be used on a proactive basis. Like if you're in a certain area where numbers are performing low on a certain product, well, then try to push that product a bit more. So then the next step here in the market development was really business intelligence, like making use of all the data that was collected. Because remember, we are always collecting data here. So statistics, the early statistics was already pure data collection. Then CRM connection generated even more data. Then ERP connection generates even more data. E-learning modules, even more data. So there is a need to bring all that data together, whether it is in your data warehouse internally, or whether it is a very easy to use online platform, but it has to be fast and it has to be integrated, because otherwise it's close to impossible to actually make use of the data in a reasonable amount of time, so you can actually use it for the next marketing cycle, and then you'll already are getting new information. So speed is definitely a very important part here, and speed is only possible with ease of use. That's just what we figured in the market, because it's also a flexible process. Talking about multinationals, each country might have different requirements on what they want to measure about their sales reps' performance or about marketing performance. So it's really important to have a flexible system in place that that can cope with all that individual requirements in a very easy and fast way. So next step is then order capturing, which is just an added benefit to the CRM connection, which is also, yeah, depending on the industry, a quite strong demand here, because once you know who your customer is and what you present to him, you want to know the numbers on, well, you've presented to him that presentation in that order, and that makes you a top performer. So let's use this information and apply it to the other sales reps as well, so they can become top performers as well. So best practice sharing is really a crucial part when talking about the first experience of order capturing. And now we're slowly getting into really like the what the future brings, or what is like the cutting edge portions that are happening in the market right now, which is of course the revenue management part. Because once you have the information on CRM and ERP combined in a very easy user interface on a tablet, and please think of this not as running key account management reports on Excel and it takes you a couple of hours to prepare before a visit. This is really, the idea of this is really to fully integrate these on the tablet within the very same application that the rep uses to make the presentation in front of the customer. So during the order process, he can just say, well, dear customer, let's have a look at your current history. And with revenue management in place on tablets, he can not only do that, he can not only do that for the large accounts, but now think of this: he can suddenly apply this whole concept also on small accounts. So that makes regular accounts to key accounts and regular field force reps to key account managers, leveraging this technology. And then, of course, this is like really like the latest innovations is making the analytics predictive. So real-time implementing the analytics into the field force reps live. So basically when he would visit a customer, it could proactively give him a suggestion on what content to show based on what content was already shown to this customer, not necessarily by the same rep, but in general what this customer has already seen and what works best for this customer segmentation. And then, of course, platform independent access. I'm sure you're all familiar with the topic of bring your own device, and it's just a crucial part of leveraging the technology as well, because you need to make sure that your field force is feeling comfortable with the devices they are using. Only in that way you will leverage also the usage of the device and the quality of the data. Good. So this is just an overview of the 80% that we envision for the sales rep to be able to do. So he should be able to plan, to sell or present, and then he should also be able to track, like how much he sold to which customer. And this has to be, this information, and it's really important, has to be there in a very user-friendly way. Otherwise, he's not going to make use of the information, and then there's no point in collecting it. So looking at the key benefits, well, obviously from a Salesforce management perspective, you have quick user adoption because the user experience is really important, and I really want to underline this once more, because although you're operating in a business and in an enterprise environment, your end users, which in this case are the sales reps, behave very much like end consumers as well. So think of this, that their demand is growing at the same rate as an end user demand. And the very easy consequences, if you from an enterprise point of view do not cope or do not deal with that growing demand, fast growing demand, they are going to look for other solutions. So what we hear a lot also from compliance point of view, from life science, from consumer goods, from financial services, from manufacturing, if the reps don't have a simple to use tool, what they do is they basically just look for other solutions. So they would go and download Dropbox or SkyDrive or whatever, and just put all the confidential information in these cloud-based solutions just for them to be able to present on a tablet. So it's just a very interesting scenario, because then basically analytics are lost, compliance is lost, marketing control is lost. Basically anything that will make you adopt this technology is lost, and the sales rep is still presenting with the tablet. Then yeah, legal and compliance we already touched. Brand management and marketing, of course, they can now base their new marketing material on real numbers rather than suggestions or surveys or feedbacks. And for the Salesforce, what we hear all the time is that they, like in the beginning, it's always a bit of a respect on implementing this technology, because there's a general fear that it will require a lot of training or user will not adopt it, even like especially the the ones that are maybe a little bit more conservative or that didn't grow up with these devices. What we see in the market, real life, and I'm talking about large organizations like 30, 40K reps globally, the user adoption and the usability is usually is not an issue, especially like across all the generations of employees. Provided, of course, that there is an easy-to-use application on the tablet, so user experience. Good. Now let's just drill down for the last couple of minutes into the separate verticals. As I told you already, in life science was just the market that basically jumped on the CLM initiative and rolled out tablets. So we see there that that was maybe beginning 2010 when the iPad came out. So beginning 2011 were the first finalized rollouts, and still there's a lot of optimization potential there. So devices are rolled out. Generally, the CRM, I would say, is integrated with the platform. Now, the crucial thing to do, or the crucial next step for this vertical, is to make use of the analytics in a very efficient way. So coming up with business rules on how analytics are being used to really suggest the best next actions for the sales reps, and also further enabling the sales rep, like following up, confirming meetings, just optimizing his whole day in an optimized way. Just here, just some results from one of our customers who implemented this using also the order taking capability, which was just astonishing. Also, I have to say, in this case, it wasn't an emerging market, so it was really like paper-based carbon copy collection of the orders, and there were a lot of issues with the handwriting and figuring out the real numbers when entering them into the ERP system. So just the user experience again, and the automatic integration into the ERP system facilitated the order collection strongly, as you can see here, with the results tripled in the same time frame. Then in retail and consumer goods, what we see is sort of the in-store staff augmentation. What this means is basically that when like thinking from a consumer perspective, when I go into the additional effort of getting out of my house, going into a retail store to buy a product, what I expect is that the person that is going to consult me on my product purchase already knows what kind of product I'm looking for based on whatever I was looking before in my account, whatever, on my mobile phone. I would like him to be prepared in a faster way than I can Google the same product information, and that has again a lot to do with this integrated experience of when you walk into the store. You should be it should be easy to identify you with couple of clicks, and then immediately the consultant in the store should be able to answer your questions in a faster way than an online store could do. That's sort of the future of retail, or also a very important part what we see in the market. In general, consumer goods, more on the side of key account management. There, of course, the purchase history of the client in a, again, interactive way to further assess the performance, or like making predictions on what sort of products should be purchased in the future, is sort of replacing or like adding value to a system that the client, the consumer goods client, might not have. So even if you visit a small store or a restaurant, and the restaurant might not have all the all the available thresholds and past purchase numbers, etc. So the restaurant might not even know what's their best-selling product, but then you as the supplier should know what their best-selling product is in order for you to leverage that on that potential. Then in financial services, what we see is, I mean, there are basically two segments, two large segments there, which is the wealth management part inside banking organizations, and then the insurance portion as well. And insurance, it's of course forms-based, and again here with all the online comparison tools that the end consumer now has, the expectation for a live client visit is much higher than it was before, because now I expect also again the consultant, because I'm freeing up time to meet him in person. So I really want him to have all the information on my account immediately available, then answering my question in a very short amount of time, so I can buy or purchase a new insurance or a new product in almost real time, depending on the legal specifications, of course. And for the wealth management, there is still the scenario of they have huge slide decks, and they would like to pull everything together, or like take 2 slides for each from each market or industry, pull together their presentations in real time with automatically updated stock information, so they don't have to. That's sort of a manual process still, and that's the use case for the wealth managers. And then also, of course, the remote controlling, when you have multiple participants, so that each and everyone can take their own notes, but you would still centrally lead the meeting, which just generates a more aligned, more streamlined presentation process when talking about different generations. Good. Just in general, couple of points here. Yeah, it should be not considered. So the CLM project or rollout should not be considered as a pure IT project, but really as a collaboration between the different departments. Of course, it's necessary to collaborate with IT already from the beginning in order to maintain the integrations and not to have showstoppers in the middle of the road. Also, in regards to marketing, there's also a change in the thinking of marketing, where they need to be in a more active role, really getting back the analytics, implementing them into the new marketing material, which is also sort of a change in thinking, and also requires sort of the marketing departments to adapt to this new role they're growing into, basically. Yeah, I guess that's it. On the rest of the topics we already touched briefly. So I will be happy to answer any questions if there are.
Well, Eric, thank you very much. I don't see questions at the moment. We are running now about 40 minutes, so maybe it's a good time to end the session. I want to thank you very much to give us so much information about what it can mean to your marketing and to your sales, and that it's not only about the app, but it's more about the way of thinking. So thank you very much for that. The webinar will be available on our website if you want to share it with your colleagues. It'll take about 24 hours, and then it will be online. Thank you very much for attending this session today, and looking forward to hear from you and meet you another time. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.